Hello my dear 10th class students. So today I am going to explain you very important long answers from your chapter electric current. First question is write the required materials, procedure, precautions and observations in an activity to prove Ohm's law. Okay, so this Ohm's law is very important. So it can be given in the exam. Write an experimental procedure about V by I. And it can be given in the exams. Prove that V by I is a constant. Okay, so whatever it may be, okay, you have to understand the question about Ohm's law. यहाँ पर क्वेश्चन क्या है, आपको Ohm's law का एक्सपेरिमेंट आपको दिखाना है. So aim, what is aim here? To show that the ratio V by I is constant for a conductor. Okay, aim will be given in the question itself. aim आप क्वेश्चन से भी लेकर लिख सकते हैं. Material required 5 dry cells of 1.5 volts each. आपको 5 ड्राई सेल्स लेना है जो 1.5 वोल्ट्स के हों. ओके, देन कंडक्टिंग वायर्स में जिससे इलेक्ट्रिसिटी पास होती है, जो वायर्स है वो वायर्स लेना है आपको. एन एमीटर इज़ यूज टू मेजर करंट. अ वोल्ट मीटर इज़ यूज टू करंट अ वोल्ट्स. ओके, थिन आयरन स्पोक, फिर आपको आयरन स्पोक लेना है जिसका लेंथ 10 सेंटीमीटर हो. ओके, फिर आपको लेना है LED और एक की. ओके, यू हैव टू टेक LED एंड की. सो व्हाट आर द प्रिकॉशंस क्या लेना है आपको यहाँ पर? टेक केयर वाइल कनेक्टिंग वायर्स टू द सोर्स. वायर को कनेक्ट करते वक्त हमें टेक केयर करना है. ओके, द रीडिंग्स ऑफ वोल्ट मीटर एंड एमीटर आर टू बी टेकन विदाउट पैरेलल एरर्स. ओके, सो यहाँ पर आपको आप जो रीडिंग लेंगे उसमें कोई भी एरर नहीं होना चाहिए. ओके, द टेम्परेचर ऑफ द आयरन स्पोक इज कॉन्स्टेंट ड्यूरिंग द फ्लो ऑफ करंट थ्रू इट. और आपको ये भी देखना है कि द टेम्परेचर शुड बी कॉन्स्टेंट ऑफ एन आयरन स्पोक. ओके, जब फ्लो ऑफ करंट होगा तो जो आयरन स्पोक का जो टेम्परेचर होगा वो कांस्टेंट होना चाहिए. ओके, दीज आर द प्रिकॉशंस you have to take place in this experiment. So now procedure, let us take a iron spoke and solder it with conducting wires at both ends. Okay, you have to take an iron spoke and solder it with conducting wires at both ends. Okay, these two wires connected to a cell. These two wires should be connected to a cell. उसको सेल से कनेक्ट करना है. 1.5 वोल्ट्स की बैटरी हो जो सेल की. ओके, थ्रू एन एमीटर एंड की. Connect a voltmeter across two ends of iron spoke. Okay, so now you have to connect a voltmeter across two ends of iron spoke. Iron spoke के two ends को आपको voltmeter से connect करना है. Close the key and note the readings of current in ammeter and potential difference in voltmeter. This we know. Readings of current should be measured in ammeter and potential difference in voltmeter. Okay, now connect two cells in series in the circuit and note the readings of ammeter and voltmeter. अभी आपको क्या करना है? 2 सेल्स को सीरीज़ में कनेक्ट करना है और रीडिंग्स नोट करना है एमीटर और वोल्ट मीटर की. रिपीट द एक्सपेरिमेंट विथ 3, 4 and 5 cells in series. Okay, take 3, 4 and 5 cells and do this experiment and record the values of current and potential difference in the given tabular form. आपको इसको टेबुलर फॉर्म में डालना है. ओके, एंड कैलकुलेट V by I. ओके, आपको फिर V by I करना है. करंट लेना है, पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस लेना है, देन V by I. यू हैव टू डू V by I, देन you will get the value. Okay, so a graph is drawn with y on x-axis and I on y-axis. So you have to draw a graph. You have to take x-axis as V, I as y-axis. So it gives a straight line passing through origin. So if it gives a straight line, then it is V by I. Okay, it is Ohm's law. V by I is equals to constant. Hence 2 iron spoke is a ohmic material. Okay, so if the graph is curved, then it is a non-ohmic conductor. Okay, so here for ohmic material, what you have to, the graph will be straight line. You have to draw a graph also. Okay, so here the graph is given here. See, x axis we are taking V and y axis we are taking I. It is an ampere and V means it is in volt. Okay, second question is write the required materials, procedure, precautions and observations in an activity to find relation between resistance and cross section area. Okay, so you have to find out the relation between resistance and cross sectional area. Okay, so you have to do an experiment for it. Okay, so what is the aim here? To prove resistance of a conductor is inversely proportional to area of cross section of a conductor. So this we have to prove. Okay, or you can write aim from the question. Okay, aim to find relation between resistance and cross sectional area. Okay, so you will get the same answer. What you will get? Resistance of a conductor is inversely proportional to the area of cross section of a conductor here. Okay, so now material required, iron spokes of different cross sectional area of same length. So now here you have to take iron spoke of different cross sectional area, but length should be same, length same होना चाहिए. Iron spoke different cross sectional area का लेना है आपको. Okay, then battery, ammeter, key, wires, etc. Then what are the precautions again? What you have to take? Length of iron spokes must be the same. Iron spoke का length जो है ना same होना चाहिए. The readings of ammeter is taken as without parallax error. Okay, जो reading है वो without parallax error होनी चाहिए. Okay, so always in this electric current experiment the reading of ammeter should be taken without a parallax error. So now procedure: connect the iron spoke across the battery and ammeter using connecting wires. So now what you have to do? You have to connect the iron spoke across the battery ammeter. Okay, you have to take connecting wires also. So close the key and measure current in the ammeter. Okay, after closing the key, what you have to do? You have to measure current in the ammeter. Okay, so repeat the experiment with iron spoke of different cross sectional area and note the reading. Okay, you have to take the iron spoke of different cross sectional observations. We observed that as area of cross section of a spoke increases, the current in ammeter increases. Okay, so when the area of cross section increases, the current in the ammeter increases. So when the potential difference is constant, होगा, which implies resistance of the circuit decreases. Okay, so the resistance of the circuit decreases here. Okay, what is the result here? R is inversely proportional to 1 by A. Okay, the third one is write the required materials, procedure, precautions and observations in an activity to find relation between resistance and length of the conductor. Okay, you have to write the procedure, precautions, again materials required for the activity to prove the relation between resistance and length of the conductor. Okay, in the previous experiment we have taken the different cross sectional area, length was same, but here resistance और लेंथ ऑफ द कंडक्टर के बीच का रिलेशन आपको फाइंड आउट करना है एक एक्टिविटी से. ओके, व्हाट इज आवर एम हियर? टू प्रूव रेसिस्टेंस ऑफ ए कंडक्टर इज डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू द लेंथ. ओके, जब आप ये एक्सपेरिमेंट करेंगे तो रेसिस्टेंस ऑफ ए कंडक्टर लेंथ से डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल होगा. मटेरियल्स रिक्वायर्ड, व्हाट आर द मटेरियल्स? लेना है आयरन स्पोक ऑफ डिफरेंट लेंथ हियर विथ सेम क्रॉस सेक्शनल एरिया. ये हम ऑपोजिट, ये हम लेंगे सेम क्रॉस सेक्शनल एरिया. प्रीवियस एक्सपेरिमेंट में हमने डिफरेंट क्रॉस सेक्शनल एरिया लिया था. ओके, now battery, ammeter, key, wires, the same thing we are using here also. Okay, what are the precautions you have to take? Precautions: iron spoke must have same area of cross section. Okay, the readings of ammeter is taken as without parallax error. Again we have to take this you have to write in every experiment. Okay, the reading should be without parallax error. Procedure: okay, connect the iron spokes across the battery and ammeter using connecting wires. Again you have to connect the iron spoke. Okay, the same thing you have to do. Close the key and measure the current in the ammeter which is connected in series. Again repeat the experiment with iron spoke of different length. These you have to remember. Here we are taking iron spoke of different length and there we are taking iron spoke of same length, and note the current in ammeter. Okay, again you have to note the current here in ammeter. Now observations: we observed that as length of a spoke increases, जब spoke का length increase होगा, the current in the ammeter decreases. It is opposite. Okay, so when the potential difference is constant, which implies resistance of the circuit increases. In this it increases. In the previous experiment it decreases. Okay, in the previous activity it decreases. Now the result: hence we conclude the resistance of a conductor increases with length of the conductor. R is directly proportional to L. In this experiment we got this statement that R is directly proportional to L. Okay, in the previous statement R is directly proportional to 1 by A. Okay, now how does a battery work? To explain, a battery is a device that stores chemical energy and converts it to electrical energy. So it can be given in the exam, how does a battery work? Okay, in the long answer, so you have to write this. Okay, so what is the answer here? The chemical reactions in a battery involve the flow of currents from one material electrode to another through an external circuit. Okay, so the chemical reactions in a battery, okay, battery में जो chemical reactions होते हैं उसमें हमेशा flow of current होता है, involve the flow of current from one material, that is electrode, to another. Okay, through an external circuit के ज़रिए से. First point you have to write this. Okay, so next, the flow of electrons provides an electric current that can be used to do work. Okay, so flow of electrons हमेशा electric current provide करता है that can be used to do work. Okay, to balance the flow of electrons, charged ions also flow through an electrolyte solution that is in contact with both electrodes. Okay, so to balance the flow of electrons, what will happen? The charged ions also flow through an electrolyte solution. Okay, we know this electrolyte solution. Okay, so that is in contact with both electrodes. Okay, so these electrolyte solution which will be in a contact with both electrodes. Okay, so different electrodes and electrolytes produce different chemical reaction. This we know, that affect how the battery works. Okay, that affect how the battery works, how much energy it can store, and its voltage. So you have to draw a figure. Okay, in figure A, what it is showing, positive ions move towards one plate and negative ions move towards the plate. This is shown through an arrows. You can see the arrows in figure A. Hence, they get accumulated on their respective plates as shown in figure A. Okay, now in figure B, the ions will travel towards their respective plates. They are traveling towards their respective plates. This is also showing through arrows. Only when chemical force is stronger than electric force. Okay, when they are traveling. Okay, when the chemical force is stronger than an electric force. It is shown in figure B. Now in figure C, if these forces become equal, that is when they are balanced, there are not be any motion in ions. Okay, so there will be no movements in ions here. Okay, when they are balanced. Okay, this also you can see. Okay, how they are balanced through these arrows. Okay, now last one, the ions in electrolyte under the balanced chemical and electric force can be shown in figure D. Okay, so the ions in electrolyte under the balanced chemical and electric forces are shown in figure D. Next question is explain Kirchhoff's law with example. Okay, what is a Kirchhoff's law? You have to explain. So first you have to write junction law in this. The sum of the currents entering into the junction is equal to the sum of the currents leaving the junction. Okay, the current which is entering into the junction, you have to add it, then you have to equals to you have to write, and sum of the currents leaving the junction. Okay, this law is based on the law of conservation of charge. Okay, this law is based on law of conservation of charge. Okay, so let I1, I4 and I6 are the currents entering the junction. You have to take I1, then I2, I3 you have to leave, then I4, then I5 you have to leave, then I6. I1, I4 and I6 are the current entering the junctions, whereas I2, I3 you have to take. I1 we have taken. Okay, I2, I3, then I5 are the currents leaving the junction. Okay, these both you have to take. This is shown in the diagram. You can see it here in this diagram. Okay, I1, I4 and I6 is there. I1, I4, then I6 is there, then I2, I3 and I5 is there. You have to draw an arrows. Okay, entering means see the arrow for entering, and leaving means you have to see the arrows. Okay, then next one is loop law. The algebraic sum of all potential differences, okay, sum of all potential differences in a closed circuit is 0. This law is based on law of conservation of energy. Loop law is based on law of conservation of energy. Okay, but one junction law is based on law of conservation of charge. Okay, so the algebraic sum of all the potential difference in a closed circuit is 0. Okay, this you have to write for loop law. Then again next question is explain overloading of household circuit. Okay, this is very important. It can be given in the 2 marks, 4 marks, 8 marks. Okay, so you should know what is an overloading of household circuit. Overloading happens when too many appliances which work on high power are connected through the same socket. Okay, if you are taking the same socket and we are connecting many appliances to it, there will be a high power. Okay, then this will draw a very large current from the circuit. ओके, सो सर्किट से बहुत लार्ज करंट ड्रॉ होगा, हैंस द वायर्स गेट्स हीटेड अप, द वायर्स गेट हीटेड अप and can cause accidental fires. This can cause accidental fires. Accidental fires हो सकते हैं. The fuse may melt, fuse melt हो सकता है, but there still lies the risk. Okay. The minimum and maximum amount of current that can be drawn from mains is 5 to 20 ampere. Okay. 5 एम्पियर से कम नहीं होना चाहिए, 20 एम्पियर से ज़्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए. If more than 20 ampere of current is drawn from mains, overheating occurs and it leads to fire. अगर 20 एम्पियर से ज़्यादा करंट पास होगा तो ओवरहीटिंग हो जाएगी और it leads to fire. Okay, you can draw this diagram also. For example, okay, this is an example. Consider a home. Okay, we are taking a home. Okay, consisting of electronic appliances. These are the electronic appliances in our home, like heater, fan, bulb, fridge. Okay, we are taking heater. Okay, heater, then fan, then bulb, then fridge, then TV, etc. as shown in the figure. Okay, so fan is having 4 ampere, bulb is having 2 ampere, fridge is having 8 ampere, TV is having 6 ampere, and fuse is of 20 ampere. Okay, जब आप इसका पूरा टोटल करेंगे 4, 2, 8, 6 का, तो आपको 20 एम्पियर होगा. अगर 20 एम्पियर से ज़्यादा करंट अगर आप यूज़ करेंगे तो ब्लास्ट हो सकता है. ओके, फायरिंग हो सकती है, लाइक दिस. ओके, इफ़ यू आर यूजिंग if you are using bulb, fridge and TV, if you are not using fan, then you can use here heater. अब आप यहाँ पर हीटर को यूज़ कर सकते हैं. ओके,